Okay, let's go and check out to see what's growing in my garden. I've been working on my vegetable beds for the past couple of months. I've left the chickens out on this side of the fence, so otherwise, look at them following me. Go away, you chickens. Okay, leave them this way. Hopefully they won't get into the gate. No, no, no. There you are. And let's see what's growing in my garden. Okay, we'll start from this end. What we have here is a blood orange plant. This is the apricot tree, which I probably will have to sort of trim down. Yeah, it sort of gives quite a decent amount of apricots, so that's good. What I have here is a potato plant that a potato tower that I started to work on about 4 months ago. I started with just a layer of potatoes at the base and put some compost on it, put this chicken wire around it, and kept piling on the compost as the plant started to grow up. Because the chicken started to peck at it and there was sort of big gaps in the wire here, I put this weed mat around it. It's been pinned around here somewhere. So now I've stopped adding compost to it and soil. I'll leave it at that. I think in another month or so the leaves will start to wilt off and dry, and once that happens I'll just take off this weed mat, I'll take off the net, and hopefully I should get a decent harvest of potatoes. Let's see how that goes. So that's my potato tower. Okay, what do I have here? I have a lemon tree, which is a couple of lemons growing on it, a couple of flowers around. There's another one there, and yep, it's doing well. I've got a mandarin tree, which is sort of dwarf variety, and let's head to my vegetable patch. Okay, this is my first vegetable patch. Before I started with the vegetable patch, planting the vegetables in it, I had to work on the soil, add a lot of compost, and as you can see, I have also made these arches of PVC tubes. You'll see what I'll do with them in a few minutes time, but right now I'll just show you what I've planted in. All the 3 beds have irrigation, so I really don't have to water it. They are on a timer, as you can see. I'll just show you where the timer is. There's a timer here, and it comes on in a few minutes. Okay, let's start with the first bed now. In my first bed I've planted brinjals or aubergines, and they're sort of starting to just get some flowers, and I think there is a baby brinjal going here, so hopefully we'll get a couple of brinjals. This is the one that's doing well. The other plants are struggling. There are a couple scattered around this bed. In this bed I also have chilies, the jalapeno or the jalapeno variety. They're doing pretty well. I've got 2 or 3 types of tomatoes in this bed. So this one is called the patio tomato. As you can see, the plant doesn't grow very tall. It's just a little tiny bush and produces a decent amount of tomatoes. Then in this bed I also have beans, which I sort of clustered them together. The next time if I were to plant this, I would probably spread them out a little bit more. A great nitrogen fixer. So, and this variety that I had actually grew really well, so I should get the same one the next time and spread them out. It's a dwarf variety, so it doesn't grow very tall, more or less at that size, but produces heaps of beans, so which is great. I have the Russian purple tomatoes. They're green right now, but once they ripen they sort of turn to a darkish purple color. Here I have bush tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, sort of grow in bush, pretty wild, but produces lots and lots of tomatoes. Great for an early harvest, and they change color. They sort of ripen pretty quickly, so it's fantastic to have it if you want tomatoes for salads, or just to nibble at tomatoes. Some more chilies here. What I used to also have in this bed, I used to also grow peas and sweet peas, and they had sort of taken over the entire bed, which I had to get rid of. Even though I got a good harvest of sweet peas, they just grew pretty wild, and so I had to take them off and let the tomatoes grow. Now these two sort of are coming to its end, so I might have to pull it out. I've got a couple of brinjals or eggplants here which haven't taken off. I think it's because of the peas that were here. So now that they've been taken off, hopefully these will continue to grow well. I've planted some marigolds in it to keep away the insects, and I'm thinking that's helping. Okay, so that's the first bed. Right, going to the second bed. Again, some more varieties of tomatoes here. I've got a whole lot of celery growing here. Here I have some beetroot, and that's another beetroot sort of growing there, and silver beet. Now if you look very closely, both these leaves sort of look similar because of the way the length of the leaves and the formation of the leaves, but you've got to really look very closely to identify the difference. You can see the veins here which are broader, and these are much more narrow, and even the feel of the leaves, this is thinner, this is more crispier. A good thing about silver beet is it comes in different colors, and so it's quite nice to plant it as just a decorative plant, but because it's really useful in dals, and I use it just as a vegetable, so I like to grow a lot of silver beet. They come in different colors too, like I just mentioned. So I've got a yellow one here, and I've got just a plain green one here. In this bed we've got heaps of beetroots and just sort of sprinkled around the place, but around there I've also just lately planted some of these ones. They are leeks, and in a few months time all these plants will come off. I'll be harvesting all sorts of silver beet and the celery and the tomatoes, and hopefully there'll be a lot of place for these leeks to grow. And so yep, I'm sort of thinking of what happens once these come off. I also have some of these variety of tomatoes. They were given to me by a friend, so I really don't know the name of these variety. And then there are these rounder ones which I think came from my compost that I threw them down here, and they just sort of sprouted, so I let them be and let them grow. So I really don't know what variety they are. Okay, so that's the second bed. Now here's the third bed, which was the last of the 3 beds that I was working on, but this was the bed which the chickens have got in a couple of times and gone around and dug up. So you can see the mulch is all mucked up and needs a little more of mulching. There's a clove which needs to get out, and so yeah, it looks a bit neglected, so but it's growing pretty okay. So what I have here is okra, or lady's finger, as you can see, which I grew from seeds. So a couple of okra plants. I've got a couple of lettuces, different types of lettuces growing here. Yesterday I planted some kale, and yep, they'll be great as a vegetable. And this is an heirloom variety of tomato. So I still haven't, I think there's a flower growing here, so should be able to see what this variety looks like. Then I've got one beetroot that managed to survive when the chickens got in, so that one's doing okay. A couple of tomatoes ready to be harvested soon, and marigold. Know why this one didn't do well. Maybe it's growing. Yep, and this couple of okra here, I'm thinking. Yep. So I'm quite pleased with the way the okra is growing in this one. And so that's my third bed. What I've also done is I've got these two little beds at the side. This one I've planted corn. I think I left this corn for too long this time, and I sort of planted it too late, and so it hasn't picked up as well as I would have liked it to. In the previous years corn has grown pretty well, so let's see, maybe it's still too early. And so that's corn in this one. And in my next bed here I have cucumber. Again, left this one to be planted too late, but it seems to be doing pretty well, so I'm hoping it'll go up the trellis that I have placed here, and we'll get some decent cucumber. So I've never been very successful with cucumber, so hopefully that'll grow well. Okay, so the water has just come on through the timer, through the pipes, and the chickens are having a drink. I'll let the chickens in because I've covered all the beds up now with these nets. That'll keep them out of the vegetable beds. As for the corn and the cucumber, they've been covered by this high net, so hopefully they'll stay, and that'll keep the chickens out, and they have all the place to roam around and do their scratching and be themselves, and they leave these beds of mine alone. That's it. That's what I've been up to in my garden now.